But I didn't have my big budget from Japan. I only have a semester with the students, so I couldn't really go in depth on production values and production quality. So with all of this, I decided to go an audio podcast route, because you don't have to buy the expensive video cameras, you don't need the computers and as much time editing. Editing the video is very time consuming, as all my students would tell you. It's basically, for every 1 minute of video, it's about an hour editing. We had a course textbook that I really needed to follow because the students are buying it. I'm not going to make them buy a book and then not use it. Luckily, I got a grant from the department, so I was able to buy the Zoom field mics, which are more expensive. They're about, that model is about $240. But again, I believe with higher quality production increases their motivation for creating higher quality product. And again, I bought the video cameras because even though it was a multinational class, you would still have the Chinese students speaking Chinese to each other, the Korean students, and so forth. So I would shoot them and have a spy in their group for me. But the biggest resource I had was Michigan State itself. It's a huge university. There's over, I think, there's somewhere from 50 to 100 majors. There are distinguished professors in each program that my students could have access to. The professors didn't know that at the time, but. So here's an example. In our textbook, one of the units was development through life. First chapter was adolescence, second chapter was adulthood. So the only criteria that the students had for their podcast was it has to be within that theme. So one group chose the development of growth and nutrition in adolescence. And so they chose to interview a professor of kinesiology. Okay, the same unit, a different group, chose to focus on the elderly in the US. They went to a local retirement center and interviewed one of the home care providers. I did not make any phone calls for them. I did not give them introductions. I just moved to MSU, so I didn't know any of these people either. We worked on politeness. We worked on showing grace even in the face of rejection, because there were a lot of professors that said, oh, too busy, and rightfully so. But again, it got them out of the classroom, it got them off the campus, and it got them to talking to professionals, whether they are within their field of interest or beyond that. And so it really made it a more academic nature. The outcomes, let's listen to what the students have to say.
Okay, so hello, Sharon. So, do you think that this podcast helped you when you're when you're
I wasn't interviewing, that's another student from their group.
The standard for you, like it's the standard for EAP students to do making a podcast, and did it help?
I think they do help a lot. For example, having education from our listening classes, our semester, I heard from my friends that they don't do some presentation and do some debate during the class. Well, for that, I think we have increased more accessibility during the podcast because we have to consult with the professors, with some other interviews with the local students. I think we got more information and improved a lot during the process. So I think it really helps a lot.
So it helped you to increase your speaking and listening skills. Than like the last semester that you went in the speaking and listening.
These are all students who the following semester would be in matriculated courses within their majors. So, I mean, they have high levels. Question?
I just have a question of how this relates to the podcast. They don't have to put this into the end of the podcast, do they? Do they submit this separately? On the course management?
After each, the documentarian's job is to first record the process, but after each assignment, they need to record kind of a self-reflection of what they learned during each one. And then at the end of the class, at the end of the semester, I have them do just a class assessment, what they liked or didn't like about it. But I won't play what they didn't like because.
Okay. What do you think the big problem we're facing is in this project?
I think the big problem is for academics to make appointments for the professor at the right time of meeting and
Question?
organize the classes for the professors and maybe organize which question is better and remove some old questions, add some new questions.
To say something, please, camera it's funny.
And maybe sometimes we interview the professor feel nervous, which handle it very well.
And what you learned from this project? What kind of teamwork or group work?
I think the teamwork is really important because people should be responsible for their own duties and come to make a random time at our interview. We should organize our languages and special class and something like that.
So what you learned from as an interviewer?
I learned how to rank classes and problems and how to take the reporter to the interviews and how to make myself not be
Okay, thank you.
All right, so really it helped with their fluency, their cognitive fluency, because a lot of it was just spontaneous communication again, but it also helped with their self-confidence. A lot of them really didn't speak to native students, let alone professors. And so this kind of forced them into that. And it showed them that, yes, their English was good enough to have conversations back and forth with the local students. It also taught them the value of group work or responsibility within group work, which goes beyond their classroom and it goes beyond their education to skills that they'll need in the workforce when they, after they graduate, when they have to work on projects within whatever corporation they work for. So it's working on a lot of different levels. But